It's not about what was right and what was wrong. It's at the time that suited people, and at this current time, like you did mention, there is a bit of pressure, of course, amongst my generation. We have to essentially create our own path. A lot of our identity and who we are is based off what we do, essentially. Um, and there isn't, I guess, there is a comfort of, for those that are in an advantageous position, like you said, there is that comfort that if my father and my granddad have come from a good name, I don't have to put too much effort in myself. However, we've exchanged that comfort for at least now having freedom of choice, which I think is a much better. It could be a compromise for some people, but it's a much better trade-off for sure. Because now everyone, from whatever background, regardless, can make their own decisions and be who they want to be. But it's interesting. One other thing you kind of mentioned there was that you felt this need that I need to do better than my dad did. And better than my granddad did. You want to carry on this legacy by essentially progressing further. And in whatever sense, I'm assuming financial progress, career progression, mental progression. How do you feel that? Because the reason I mentioned that is I feel that amongst my generation, whenever we consider progression, whether it be career, financial, whether it be through education, a lot of that progression comes into mind for one's actual self. I want to progress for me. And I notice you mentioned this. I notice a lot of people from previous generations mention this idea of a legacy that I want to progress for the sake of the people before me as well. How do you feel that from this shift to community to individualism, why do you feel that this change has taken place?
Well, I don't know. I don't know how the youngsters see that today, but how we used to, I remember, when I would do things very up till recently, and I would think that how my granddad would have seen it, and how my dad would have seen it, and how whether they would feel proud or they would, say for example, when you're making a choice or a decision, and you think about things, whether it is right or not right. And I think in my life, making choices and the tick list or the checklist I would tick, one of them would be that how my dad or how my granddad would feel about it, that what I'm going to do, and whether they will feel proud or not. So yeah, of course that was, I don't know whether it was a legacy. I feel that it was just love for having family behind you or whoever kind of brought you, and respect for them maybe. And I don't know how I think it's of course varies between people to people. And maybe as we were discussing the way things have shifted and the individualism, and you mentioned whether the younger generation has a lot of pressure because they have to make their own name. Because of that pressure, they might kind of, the focus might become a bit more narrower of success. Because in olden times, the success was not just yours, but it kind of belonged to whoever you belonged to. You understand?
Yeah.
But now it is more shifting towards success is what I want for myself, and how that success helps me, what I want to achieve in life, or what kind of goals or type of lifestyle or inspirations or whatever you want. So I think that's where it has, and it felt a lot, even, succeeding wasn't, in the olden ways of thinking, wasn't just a success in itself. The joy of it wasn't just that, okay, I have succeeded. The joy of it was, okay, I have done it for everyone involved. You understand?
Yeah.
So it was a lot, I feel that, and I felt it in my life. And it was a lot kind of more fulfilling than just, and of course things changed, and now whatever in recent times I do is very individualistic and personal. And I enjoy that as well. And I feel that there's nothing wrong being with going on one way or the other. And especially when it comes to kind of goal settings or your inspirations you have, or the type of things you want to do. In my case, I want to do a lot of travel, for example, or other personal growth, and I felt that when you are kind of part of a broader community and society, so everything need to be accepted, and you have a kind of layered system. But you kind of get your things which you want to do done a lot quicker in the more individual way of life than the community based. So I kind of have seen and lived on both sides, and both sides have their own advantage and disadvantages. Yeah.
I really like what you said there about it's not about legacy, it's about the fact that you have love for those people before you, which is I think that's something we all need to implement in our lives.